Satchidananda. Namasri Atirajaya Vivekananda Suraye Satchit Sukha Swarupaya Swamine Tapaharane. Beginning with Sadashiva the Adi Guru, through Adi Shankaracharya, in between and upon my own Guru Swami Chidananda, I bow with reverence the entire tradition of preceptors and Gurus. I also salute to the king of ascetics, the hero, Sri Swami Vivekananda Maharaj, who is of the nature of existence, knowledge, bliss, who is established in the self and who is the remover of sorrows. Radiant immortal Atman, blessed divinities, I bow to each one of you with my reverential adorations and my pranams to all the distinguished speakers here. It's a great privilege and honor for me to be here today, representing in this Congress my Gurudev Swami Chidananda from Shivananda Ashram Rishikesh, who grew up as a young man in the early 30s, going every day to the Ramakrishna Mission in Chennai, Mylapore, drew much inspiration from Swami Vivekananda Ji Maharaj, and continued a lifelong work in the field of interfaith and representing the Hindu panel in the 93 Centennial Parliament. I feel humbled to be here today amongst all of these distinguished speakers and great ones. I'm reduced to very less words, but still I would like to share some ideas to pay a tribute to the Vedanta Kesari, the Lion of Vedanta, Swami Vivekananda, as I know him from my Guru. I was a young boy when I came to my Guru, and through him only I came to know about Swami Vivekananda Ji and his life and his teachings. And I extend my thanks to Anup Sharma Ji and Sunita Singh Ji for letting me to be here. It's really a great humbling experience for me to be here amongst all of you. From time immemorial, India has been a land of supreme spiritualism and lofty humanism. A land whose civilization started with reverential bows to the one universal spirit as the inner soul and permeating essence of all. India has been a land that invoked the supreme consciousness through numerous mantras, hymns, rites, rituals, and philosophical discourses. It is indeed a matter of legitimate pride to us that in these spiritual strivings and achievements of this holy land, Swami Vivekananda Ji has contributed right from the beginning and continue to do so through the checkered history down to the present age. He belongs to the common tradition of Sanatana Dharma, which sprang from the ancient Upanishads. He was a mastermind and intellectual of super-eminent order who thought relentlessly, piercing into the core of things, and attained to a comprehension of the highest truth. Highest expressions of the Hindu genius that he was, by the ascetic way of life that he adopted, he affirmed in himself that the ancient declaration that by renunciation could one attain immortality. An incisive intellect, added by an intense fervor invested with a spiritual profundity in such a measure that he constituted in the religious history of our land and blazed a trail of enduring glory which continued to this day to preserve his spiritual lineage in his life and in his achievements and in the mission that is sought to fulfill. We find close parallel with the great religious exponents Buddha and Adi Guru Shankaracharya. Pleading passionately for a glorious combination of Sri Shankara's head with the Buddha's heart, Swami Vivekananda had both of them in his person and reoriented the Vedantic way to suit the demands of modern times. Swami Vivekananda was appalled by the dirt and the squalor, the poverty and privation, the sorrow and suffering which saw around him in his native land. The Upanishads had taught him the identity of all jivas as the aspects of the same Paramatma. Initiated by his Guru and instructed by his own deep and extensive study of Upanishads, he had a true insight into the real nature of man. Atma Vidya and other finer aspects of life were so wonderfully blended in him that he has been able to galvanize his followers to a dedicated life of supreme sacrifice and service to bring about personal salvation on the one hand and general well-being on the other. Ritual is not the essence of religion, said the Buddha, Ritual does not exhaust religion, said Adi Shankara. Ritual must not be a denial of religion, said Swami Vivekananda, who learned from Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa, whose realization affirmed itself through all the paths of knowledge. His life story provides a vision of a splendid harmony where the past, the present and the future mingle and blend in a grand aspiration of all races, all creeds and all ages. On this day, in this month, a full 125 years ago, this great patriot monk and lion of Vedanta, Sri Swami Vivekananda, reached Chicago to the noble task of letting the world know India's great culture and its sublime ideals and values of human life. I cannot conclude without some of the living words of the great Swamiji. Here I quote, "Shall India die, then from the world all spirituality will be extinct, all moral perfection will be extinct, all sweet soul sympathy for religion will be extinct, all identity will be extinct, and in its place will reign the duality of lust and luxury as the male and female deities, with money as its priest, fraud, force and competition its ceremonies, and the human soul its sacrifice. Such a thing can never be, will she die? Let us all work hard, my brethren. This is no time for sleep. On our work depends the coming of the India and the world of the future. She is there ready waiting, she is only sleeping. Arise and awake, and see her seated here, on her eternal throne rejuvenated, more glorious than she ever was, this motherland of ours. Let us firmly resolve from this moment that we will not allow even one single day to pass away without remembering these inspiring and electrifying lines from Swami Vivekananda's stirring call to mankind. Blessed are those who recognize the priceless worth of the eternal spiritual message he has left behind for human society for all times. Blessed are such congress and gatherings to remind us their teachings. But only remembering his teachings and celebrating anniversaries after anniversaries will not be enough. We must perceive this clearly and enrich our lives by this wisdom wealth. Only then we will be able to walk in the light, go beyond sorrow, and attain supreme peace. Only then we will be able to cast away selfishness and petty self-seeking and dedicate oneself to the twin ideals of seek divinity and serve humanity. Only then a new world order can arise, like the phoenix rising up from its own ashes into a glorious new life, and form the common universal heritage of the entire world, without any barrier of race or religion, caste or creed. Let us offer our most worshipful homage to this great world teacher, Swami Vivekananda ji. May his grace and blessings be upon all and all. His advent into this human world have verily been the descent of divine light upon earth. He came to remove the darkness of mere materialistic living and pursuit of pleasure and illumine life's path, to lead mankind beyond darkness and sorrow into the higher spiritual realm of enlightenment and bliss of Brahma-jnana or Brahma experience. May we all become instruments for making this vision of Swami Vivekananda ji a reality. Let us all arise, strive for this new awakening and march ahead towards creating a better world, a world of peace and love. Thank you very much. Hari Om Tat Sat.